And you'll be having the backup videos also. Admin will share it soon. If you want, you can watch it again. Okay. Yesterday we discussed only the course content in the interest of time, so I don't uh, go through yet like yesterday. So I'll just quickly complete it. Will that be fine?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So for those who join newly, guys, so this is a data structures and algorithm course using Java. This data structures and algorithms you can implement using any language like Python, C++, anything. So since our we know Java, so I'm teaching with uh, core Java. Okay. So the prerequisite is core Java. And basically it's a complete data structure course, but I broken down into collections and data structures. Collections part, we just completed 2 days back. If you want, you can enroll for that. You will be getting a recording. I'll just go through what we have covered in the collections and what will be covering in the data structures and the current classes. In the collections, we discussed basically why do we need the collection framework and internal implementation of all these frameworks like list, set, map. I mean, when I say internal implementation, how does array list work internally? How does map work internally? Where do the array list store the data internally, and what is how to create a custom collection? Like if I've been asked to create array list, custom array list, how do I do? And we also looked at copy and write array list, copy and write array set, concurrent hash map, sorting array list, hash map, hash set, everything, and iterator, list iterator, concurrent modification, how to resolve it. And then we looked at linked list. How can I create a custom linked list? And then inserting, deleting, printing a linked list, and stack. How to prepare a stack using array or linked list or queue. Basic properties of a stack. Queue, blocking queue, priority queue, dequeue. All this like queue implementation using array, all this. And tree, like basic what is a tree, what is a binary tree, and tree traversal techniques like in order, pre-order, post-order, and tree map, tree set. So this is a course content for collections. And in the yesterday class, I've been telling why generally we think that stack, queue, linked list are data structures, and why did we include in the collections? Yes, so data structure is something anything that can store a data. Even array is also a data structure. Array list is also a data structure. Okay. So now general opinion that we link list, stack, and queue are data structures. No, array list is also a data structure. Anything that holds the data or you can perform operations on a data is a data structure. Okay. Now, why are we studying this in the collections? Because array list is implementing list interface. Similarly, linked list is also implementing list interface. Stack is extending from vector. Queue is implementing list interface. Queue is extending from collection, and array blocking queue, linked blocking queue. These are implementing queue interface. When you're studying array list, which is implementing list interface, similarly, I should study linked list, stack, queue also as part of this only. And why did I explain tree? Because internally tree set and tree map follows tree structure. So you need to know what is basic, like what is a tree, concepts of tree, etc. So that is the reason I included in the collections part. Most of the times, like wherever you go, other tutors or other institutes, they don't teach all this. But these are essential to learn as part of collection. So that is a collections course content which we discussed. And in the DSA, we are starting with time complexity, space complexity, all the sorting techniques, graph, dynamic programming, matrix representation, and we are looking at n number of most frequently asked questions. And these are the hacker rank and lead code links, which will be practicing this. And the timing of the class is morning 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. every day, Monday to Friday. And the fee for this is 7,000 for advanced data structures only. And if you want only collections, you will get the recordings at this point of time. It's 3,000. Together, it is 10,000. And you will be getting a recordings up to 1 year. I'll be sharing the code, whatever I'm writing in the class. And notes also will be shared with you guys. Okay. And duration for this advanced DSA is 2 months. Any questions, new joinees?
No, it's clear.
Yeah, thank you. So now let's get started today's topic of time complexity. And guys, make this as an interactive session. Like I don't mute you guys. Uh, we can, I mean, instead of one person talking and asking the questions at the end, I prefer like interactive sessions. Okay. So can someone tell me what is the time complexity that you know? Any idea, whatever you think.
The amount of time which is being taken by the operation for completing the operation.
Okay. Time taken by a program to complete it. Am I right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. Any other answers?
Yeah, the same actually.
Okay.
Time is
Yeah, fine. Yeah. So I just created a simple Java project while you are speaking. So I'm just creating timecom example. Okay. Now let's take that. So let's take that I'm simple for loop I have. Okay. I equal to 0, I less than 1 lakh, I plus plus, int j equal to, okay, let's create one int j equal to 0, j equal to j plus I. What it will do? It's a summation, correct?
It will increment value for j
0
till
to 1
1
lakh,
lakh
it will
times.
do the sum, right?
Yes.
It's a sum of numbers from 0 to 1 lakh, correct?
Mm.
It's a simple program of summing the numbers from 0 to 1 lakh. Now,
Yes.
and after that, I am printing j value is j. Now, what is the time taken by the program? How do I know generally? Not only leave about this program, like for example, you are going from your home to office. How do you know the time taken by your travel? Ending time minus starting time or starting time minus ending time, and you do the modulus. Agree? Agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So same thing. So the time taken by this program is what? So can I say before starting of this before I start I equal to 0, I need to know what is the time. After this line, I need to know what is the time. I should do the difference so that I will get the time taken by the program. Does everyone agree with me?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now the question is, sir, how do I know how to know the time taken by the program? Any idea? Anyone?
We can log before the loop starts
Yeah,
and log
how?
after.
Yeah, we can log, but how? How do you log?
So using some system dot milliseconds, you can take
Okay,
time for
system
Okay.
dot
starting.
milliseconds will give you starting time and ending time, but how do you do the difference?
So we'll take two timings, sir. One is starting, another one
Yes,
is ending.
how? I'm talking about how do you take the time? That's the question.
So
Karthik,
first we'll take start.
can we use local date time
Yes,
class
correct. Yeah.
variables?
Yeah. So in Java 8, so before Java 8, it is little difficult, right? Working with date time objects. Like for example, most of the time we work for US projects, right? Now current time is 8:21, 7:17 a.m. In US, it is maybe 8:20 only, and it's a maybe night 10 a.m., 10 p.m. or 12 p.m. So there are some situations that where you want to convert IST time to EST time zone. Then with the and another thing is if you want to get time or date or etc. before Java 8, it was difficult. I mean, when I say difficult, you need to write some lines of code, you need to debug along, etc. So, but from Java 8 onwards, there are some classes have been introduced. That is one of the classes, local date time. So local date time, local date, these are the new classes that are being introduced from Java 8 onwards. So now what I can do, so if I want to know the current time before starting, so I can simply the local date time dot now. So this will give you the current time. Okay. Now, for example, at line number 77, I am taking a start time, and in the line number 13, I am taking the again time. This will give you the end time, and I will do the difference. Now, now many of you might have studied the uh, what is the advantage of having local date, local time, and you know that these are used, but these are the applications where you can use it. Okay. Now since I have start time and end time, now what I have to do? I have to do the difference, right? How do I do the difference? There is a class called duration. This is also in the duration. There is a method called between. See, see, this is a see duration is a it's a what it's a dot class file. That means it is provided by Java creators, and you can see it is introduced from Java 1.8. Now the question, sir, how am I able to see this .java dot class file? I will explain. Those who doesn't know, I will explain later. But for time being, concentrate on this one. See, duration is a class. Now in this one, let's see, there is a method called between. If you look at here, this method is what type of method? Static method. How can I access a static method? Using class name followed by method name. And it is taking two temporal objects. Temporal objects is nothing but your date, local date time only. Now here, that is the reason I called class name followed by method name and start time, end time. Now what it will give you? It will, so let's look at the signature. What is the return type of this method? What is the return type? Duration object, correct?
Yes.
It is giving the object of this duration. So let's take duration t equal to. Now what is the time thing I want to know? I want to know the time. So d dot, see here you can see 2 millis, 2 nanos. That means it can give you the time in terms of nanoseconds, milliseconds, hours, minutes, days, everything. So this is how you can identify the time taken by the program. Now, yeah, those who are not speaking, please unmute. Yeah, whenever you want to speak, please unmute yourself and speak. Now, so generally, the most frequent problem that you face in your real-time projects is there are some pages like your real-time projects will have some pages, right? Login page. First, you have a login page and click on login, you will go to the home page and you do something, you will go somewhere. Sometimes you will get a problem saying that uh, from whenever I click on this button, loading of this page is taking time. Correct? Does anyone face this kind of problem?
Yes.
Yeah. So now the question would be you, I mean, as a human with your intelligence, you know that whenever you click on something, whenever you click on this button, the request is going to the backend, and in the backend, something is happening, that something is delaying. Correct? Now you want to know in that something. So whenever you click on this one, so let's take that you're going to the controller. From controller, you're going to the some business service, and in the business service you have a big method, and this has around some 20 methods you are calling in this one. Okay, now you don't this you know that based on your intelligence this method is taking time, but you do not know inside these 20 methods which method is taking a time. Correct? Right. Now, in order to solve this, what you can do? Simply, for each method, you take the start time, end time, and then you try to print the duration. Now, out of these 20 methods, once you print it, you will know which method is taking more time, right? So in that method, you go and debug. Some might be like most of the times you will write a SQL query without where condition, or you are doing a improper sorting technique, some Java code or something. So in this way, the big problem you can easily small boil down to the small problem, and you can easily tell them the main problem in our regular work is we don't know where the problem is occurring. Writing a code doesn't matter, correct? Nowadays, Chat GPT, all this AI tools will give you how to optimize the code and what is the code. But does the Chat GPT tells you where should I write the code in our application? Where is the problem in our application?
No.
No. That will that happen in future? No, because if you expose your application to the Chat GPT, then it becomes available in the public domain. Your security will be broken up, correct? So that will not happen. So now with the introduction of AI tools, the advantage is human intelligence is needed to identify where should I write the code. What code I should write, it will tell you. Now, if in this example or in this scenario, whenever you click on this button, this page loading is taking time. Generally, it take 2 milliseconds or something. But if it is taking 10 milliseconds, then what you can do? You go inside this method, and wherever the method starts, I mean, inside all the methods, take the time taken by the method, whichever is taking more, you identified this method is causing the culprit and it's causing the problem. Now, inside that method, you go and observe line by line, and easily you can identify the problem. So that's general one scenario I wanted to tell. Now let's come back. Now let's run this program. See, it is taking, this is the time taken by the program in the nanoseconds, correct? Let me put this in the notepad. Now, if I say, if someone is asking me, can I say that the time taken by the time complexity of this program, some of you guys given me the definition saying that time taken by the program is nothing but time complexity. Now, for this program, the time complexity is this much. Can I say that?
Yes.
According to the definition? Yes. Now, let me run again. When I run again, what is happening? Now, for example, if I say that the time complexity of this program is 3989500 nanoseconds, but next time, now you ask me again, okay, can you show me? Now I'll run again. Whenever I run again, so what is the time complexity I got? 2991500. Now what happens immediately? My answer was wrong, correct?
Yes.
So that means time complexity is nothing but a time taken by the program. But telling the time taken by the program in terms of minutes or hours or seconds is the right approach, you think?
No.
So that means how it is decided? It depends on your system hardware, right? So I have a 8 GB RAM. Now, for example, if I give you this program in your laptop, whenever you see in my laptop itself, each time it is giving me the different time, correct? Do you guys see? I have ran 4 times. 4 times it is giving me the different times, correct? Why it is? Because it depends on your RAM, operating system, etc. Correct? So that means if someone is asking what is the time complexity of this program, telling the time complexity in terms of seconds, minutes, or hours, is it correct? Now, this program is taking this many nanoseconds in my laptop because I have 8 GB RAM. But if I take a laptop or computer with a 32 GB RAM, then do you think the same amount of time will be taken by the program, or will it be less or more?
It will be less.
It will be less. That means
Less.
your execution of a time taken by the program, it directly depends on your hardware. So that is the reason telling the time complexity in terms of seconds, minutes, hours is not correct. Do you guys agree with me?
Yes.
Yes.
So now you need a common notation, right? You need some notation where you can say that the time taken by this program is this much. So that notation is nothing but big O. You might have heard in your engineering or recently wherever you say, correct? The time complexity of a bubble sort is worst time complexity is nothing but big O of n square. The best time complexity of merge sort is big O of n log n, correct? Now, why did we go to big O? Because if you are telling the time taken by the program in terms of minutes or seconds or hours or days, it may vary from one computer to another computer. It depends on your hardware system. So that is the reason we need a common notation. The common notation is nothing but big O. Hope everyone understood. Any questions so far? Yeah, I take that silence is no questions. Now go forward. Now the questions are now that's good. But what is the time complexity? Now time complexity is we think that time complexity is only for algorithms or data structures or sorting algorithms or searching algorithms. No, you can find a time complexity for any program. If you're printing, so now I'm just doing a sum of 1 lakh numbers. I can find a time complexity. Now, how do I do? So now let's look at, okay, now how many times this statement will execute, guys? Line number 7, line number 8, how many times this statement will execute? Whenever I run the program?
What?
Only once. I mean, whenever I run a program. For example, now I do run as Java application. How many times this will execute? Only once, correct?
Yes.
This loop will execute multiple times, but this line will execute only once, right? You agree what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Yeah. Now let's go back to the next line. Line number 9 will execute only once. And remaining, I'll come to the for loop later. This one time, this one time, this one time, this one time. Correct? All this will execute one time, but now let's come back to the for loop. Now, how many times the for loop will execute? Execute. I'm not saying it will go internally. I'm asking how many times this for loop will execute. Whether the condition may be false or true, but that is the execution, right? How many times it will execute? Execution in the sense where the for loop is starting with I equal to 0, correct? Now, how many times this loop will be true or false? So it will evaluate the condition like 0 less than 1 lakh, correct? Likewise,
So,
I plus plus,
mm,
I value will be 1, 1 lakh, 1 less than 1 lakh, 2 less than 1 lakh, 3 less than 1 lakh. Let's take, for time being, let's take 10. Okay. Now let me take this notepad. Now first, whenever, see, for time being, I have reduced the input to 10 because if I type 1 lakh, it takes 5 to 6 days itself, right? So for simplicity, I just take my n value, let's take n equal to 10. Instead of hard coding the value, let me put n here, int n here. Okay. Now let's run this program. Now, so n equal to 10, this also will execute one time, correct? Now, this for loop, if I look at first, I equal to 0. Now, what is the condition? 0 less than 10. Is it true? I mean, this is one time execution, correct? One time. Now, similarly, whenever if the condition is true, it will go inside, correct? After that, it will increment the value. I plus plus I value will become 1 less than 10, 2 less than 10. Likewise, 3 less than 10, 4 less than 10, 5 less than 10, 6 less than 10, 7 less than 10, 8 less than 10, 9 less than 10, 10 less than 10 also will be evaluated. But here it becomes false, correct? But now you tell me, now that means if to my question, how many times this for loop will execute? When I say execute, it can be true or it can be false. Now, if you look at this condition, how many times it is executing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Correct? So it has executed 11 times. Now, how do I write? Can I write 10, 11 as a 10 plus 1? Generally, like in mathematics, can I write 11 as a 10 plus 1?
Right.
yes.
Now, what is the variable that is holding 10 in this example? In this entire code, which variable is holding 10?
Yeah.
Your n, correct?
And
Your input in. Now, can I replace n with a 10? Now, you tell me if irrespective of whatever may be the n value, if I start with, if this condition is like I equal to 0, I less than n, then how many times this loop will execute?
N plus 1.
N plus 1 times. Is that agree? Do you guys agree with me?
Yes.
Does everyone agree or any questions on this? This is very important. Though it looks silly, but it is important. Okay. Now, how many times this condition will execute? Line number 12. Now let's look at. Now 0 less than 10. Is it true? If the condition is true, then only it will go to line number 12, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Now 1 less than 10, it will go. 2 less than 10, it will go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it will go. Whenever 10 less than 10, will it go inside?
No.
So that means 0 to 9, it will go, correct?
Mm.
That means let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means this condition is executing 10 times. Now, can I replace this 10 with n?
Yes.
yes.
Now, how many times this line will execute? Closing brace. N plus 1, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. Now, so let's sum all of this. Now, your first condition is line number. Now, time taken by the program is nothing but summation of all this. Now, here line number 8, one time, correct? Now next, line number 9, one time. Line number 10, one time. Now line number 11, n plus 1. So this is how I should write, correct? Mathematics.
Yes.
Now line number 12, n times, correct? I should not write that one here because you know, right? 0th position, 100th position, etc. Line number 13, n plus 1. Now remaining 1, 2, 3, 4 are 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. 1, n, n, n. Can I say 3n plus 9?
Yes.
Okay. Now, so now what is this 9? For example, if I have another system.out.println, then
It's 10.
this 9 will become 10, correct? So that means this can be depends on your number of lines. So it should not be considered, correct? Right? So let's take out this. Now, what is this before this n? What is there? Some number. This number is also constant, correct? See how this number is depends inside for example, inside a for loop, if I write one more system.out.println, then this will execute for n times, correct? N plus n. So this is also a constant value. So if I take out this, then what is the time complexity of this one? Big O of n. Big O of n. What does it mean? What is the n value here in this example? In this
1
example,
lakh?
what is the n value? 10, correct?
10, sorry.
So
10.
that means the worst scenario that your program executes for 10 iterations. I repeat, worst scenario that your program executes for 10 iterations. Now this program time complexity is big O of n. Hope you understand. Now let's comment this program. If I comment this line, for loop is not there, then all are ones, correct? All statement will execute only once. Then the time complexity of that program will be big O of 1. So time complexity is not only for sorting algorithms, searching algorithms. Any simple Java program, you can identify the time complexity. So there are many for loops which we are going to see in the upcoming classes, but this is an introduction to a time complexity. Time complexity is nothing but a time taken by the program. Now, what is a space complexity? Space occupied by a program, correct? Space complexity is nothing but a space occupied by a program. Now, any questions on time complexity? There are many things to be discussed, but just be with a starting point this one, and for every program that you write, we can calculate like inner for loops. If this condition is modified, if I instead of writing n, if I write n by 2, will that be same or will it be reduced or changed? Or instead of I plus plus, can I write I equal to I multiplied by n? Yes, I can write. Then the time complexity will change. We will see all of those. Okay. But time being, this is a general scenario. If you consider this general scenario, the time complexity will be big O of n. Right? Any questions on this? Yeah, I take that silence as no question. Now let's look at quickly space complexity. What is the space complexity? Tell me, can anyone tell me? Am I audible?
It would be a memory needed for or consumed by that program.
Yeah, it's nothing but same. Space occupied by a program, correct? Now, what is a space? That means every variable will take some space, correct? So int will take long, byte, string, or if for example, if you're creating an employee will have some variables, methods, everything. So space complexity is nothing but a space occupied by a program. Now, is it constant, guys? Like the space occupied by this data types is constant, or does it depend on your operating system? We
It
have
would be constant.
no, we have different lab computers, right? X64-bit or 32-bit computers, correct? Yeah. Why
Yes.
64-bit is process will be fast? It uses multiple processors apart from that. So the JVM is designed in such a way that if I take small int variable or capital integer or string, it is not constant. Always, I cannot say that a string will take 4 bytes or integer will take 4 bytes. No, it depends on your hardware. So because whenever you download a Java for your machine, you select your operating system, correct? Which operating system you have, accordingly you will download a JVM. Hence, JVM is platform dependent, Java is platform independent, correct? So now the time or memory occupied by a corresponding variable or will be dependent on your what processor you are using, what operating system you are using. It is not constant, it depends on this. Now, if you want, what we can do is quickly. See, what is the type I have done? Does the integer in Java occupy the same memory for 64-bit and 32-bit? Correct. What is the answer you got? No. The int primitive in Java occupies 4 bytes of memory, regardless whether JVM is running on 32 or this fundamental aspect of Java. However, it is important to distinguish between int and integer. So that means now see, I'm not talking about a primitive int. I'm talking about a capital integer. You have written C here. I'm talking about a capital integer. It's a wrapper class. So wrapper classes will occupy the memory based on this operating system. Correct? Now, now but I say here capital integer. So what is happening? What happens in Java? Auto-boxing will happen automatically, correct? Small integer will be converted into a capital integer, right? So now, what is the time taken by the program? Like for example, let's take this is 4 bytes. This is 4 bytes. Okay. Now, am I creating any other? Now, this local date time, let us take it takes some 5 bytes. And this also end date time will take 5 bytes. Let's take. Okay. Now, and so now if you look at the space occupied by a program is 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5, which is nothing but 5 plus 4 plus 4 plus 5, which is nothing but 18 bytes of memory, correct? Let us take some time. Apart from this 18 bytes, you need this metadata will also occupy some space, correct? Metadata also will occupy some space. Now, that means plus meta, that is called as auxiliary space. Okay. Now, if I run this program in my machine 10 times, will there be any change? Only my machine I am talking. Will there be any change in the space?
No.
No.
Same.
So that means it's a number. So it's a constant space complexity. Now, for example, what I will do instead of let me put this variable creation inside for loop. Let me create one variable int x equal to 0, or let us take capital integer x equal to 0. Now, you guys tell me how many times this variable will occupy the memory. So, for example, your int is taking 4 times, correct? Int argument is taking 4 bytes. Now, when I equal to 0, can I say that I equal to 0, it will come inside this and it will create an integer capital X. That means 4 bytes. When I equal to 1, 4 bytes. I equal to 2, 4 bytes. So, when I equal to 10, sorry, 9, 4 bytes, correct? You guys agree with me? Because I created a variable inside a for loop. Then what is the space complexity? I want to know. Now, how many times this loop is executed, guys? 0 to 9. That is nothing but total 10. 10 times 10 times it has occupied 4. So that means can I call 4 and say 10 is nothing but n. So can I call it will occupy the 4n bytes of memory?
Yes,
Now,
about the loop.
yeah, that means the variable inside a loop. Now, for example, this, what is this for? It's a sample I have taken, int will take 4 bytes. In 64-bit processor, it may take 3 bytes. So this is a constant you take out. So what is that space complexity of this program? If I have a variable inside a for loop, it is a big O of n. If I do not have a variable, this one, it's a big O of 1, correct? So likewise, we will see all the, I mean, like whenever we write a program, we can think in this perspective to understand more on time complexity and space complexity. So any questions? This is for today's class, and in the tomorrow class, we'll take one algorithm like bubble search, bubble sort. So we'll look at how the bubble sort is working, and how can I write the algorithm, convert the algorithm into a pseudo code, and then we'll write in the executable code and identify the time complexity, space complexity. I hope today's class makes sense to you guys. Does the class make sense? You learned something new?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will
Yes.
be like today's, the classes will be a live demo, live coding session. Like I have mentioned this algorithm, right? Merge sort, quick sort, heap sort, all this will be from starting. I will be writing the code in front of you guys. It will be easy. You yourself will feel that you don't need to butify the code. You just need to remember the concept. You can convert into a coding. How to convert that? I'm going to explain. So if no question, then that's all for today. Any questions, anyone? And yesterday, some of you guys have asked for some calls from Ashok IT. I hope you have received a call from Ashok IT. Okay. So if no question, that's all for today, guys. Yeah. Thank you all. Thanks for joining, and see you in tomorrow class.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Karthik.